I would like to introduce you to Associate Professor Natt Leelawat from the Department of Industrial Engineering, Chulalongkorn University. Associate Professor Leelawat brings impressive credentials to this discussion with a Doctor of Engineering from Tokyo Institute of Technology, and intensive experience bridging academic initiatives between Thailand and Japan. Joining him are his esteemed colleagues, Dr. Kumpol Saengtabtim, Mr. Punyathorn Chantharabha, and Mr. Pawarit Thitithapana. Together, they are going to discuss the topic Beyond Borders, Pathway to Cross-Country Online Credit Transfers between Thailand and Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, please give them a round of applause.
สวัสดีครับโอโยโกไซมัส and good morning to everyone. I'm Natt Leelawat, and today me and my team we are going to introduce you about the project we are working together between Thailand and Japan. The team that I took today is here. We have Dr. Kumpol, we have two research assistants, our Mr. Pawarit and Mr. Punyathorn. And in fact, we also want to introduce the core team members in this project. We have a lot of people, but we also have Dr. Jing Tang from the Chulalongkorn University and Mr. Anupong from the Faculty of Engineering Chulalongkorn University as well. And yeah, we have a lot of useful advice from our advisors, Professor Inoue from Keio University. Okay, for today, the agenda that I'm going to present to you all, first we will talk about the overall projects, about what we found as a problem statement and what we plan to do. Then we will focus on the background of our case studies, which is the way we will analyze if we have any challenge, what kind of feasibility, what kind of issues we have to encounter if we want to develop this kind of system. And we also want to show you the possibility of connecting the two platforms together between Thai MOOC and JMOOC. And lastly, we will show you our plan for the pilot course. That will be the first course that we have the ultimate goal to transfer the micro-credential between the two platforms. Okay, for me, I'm going to tell you the story about the project overview first. I have to say that from day zero, it's already 1 year. Yeah, last year, February, we had the meetings. Yeah, and from that meeting, we found that it's necessary that we should kick off some things. Otherwise, it will be just a plan for the future ever. So we decided that we should establish the courses to be the pilot course. Without the pilot courses, we cannot do anything, and we will have no way to know what kind of problem it will be occurs if other instructors want to do the same way. Okay, so from that time, we have to thanks to the Office of the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Innovations of Thailand that support us to build these projects to be occur. And yeah, the projects we got support is the project for establishing the course media, exam, and class management of the MOOC platform on disaster risk management for credit transfer between Thailand and Japan. Then yeah, we started with some background and the problem statement. We know that Thailand and Japan, we both try to promote the digital education platform. That's why we have Thai MOOC and JMOOC today. And we also found that we still don't have the exact standard for the micro-credential transfer between the two countries. And yeah, in order to drive that to be the global education, we need something like the flexible credit transfer systems. But how can we start? This is the thing that we keep in mind and we try to make it happen. Maybe you know that transfer the credit between two countries, if it's university level, probably you know that it's already occur, right? If the two universities has some MOU or MOA or any agreement that the student who study in one university can transfer the credit to another university, maybe by exchange program or some collaborative programs. That is fine if two universities know each other and make agreements to create it. So it's possible. We also know that some initiative projects try to make the cost from the MOOC system in order to be able to transfer the micro-credential to be the credit in the university. And yeah, many universities already start that kind of initiative, including Chulalongkorn universities. But the problem is here. What is here? How can we transfer between the two MOOCs platform? Yeah, we still don't have the real standard or the official agreement between those things. What I say today maybe is only Thai MOOC and JMOOC, but if it's really standardized and can be occur, other MOOCs all around the world maybe can apply the same way, then we will have the universal micro-credential transfer system together. Okay, so the objective of our project is that we want to develop the conceptual frameworks that can make the seamless academics micro-credential transfer system that can ensure that the student can utilize those kind of thing. They can learn from any platform and can transfer to other platform that they want to collect as a portfolio, as well as if they want to transfer in the future to their own official credit in the university in their countries. Okay, so by having that kind of thing, we expect that our ultimate expected outcome should be the red arrows, two-way red arrows here. Okay, and today, we will let you join our journeys to see the problem that can be occur, what kind of obstacle it can be occur, and I will introduce you at the end what kind of the pilot projects, pilot course that we are working right now. Okay, so if it really can be happen, we have the expected benefit that when we establish it, so it will make students feel easy in order to transfer the micro-credential between the two countries. It also can help us to follow some legal regulation, and we need to keep the data, keep the privacy, keep all the confidential data in which each others of the system safe and secure. We also think that we can work both online and offline so that students can earn and transfer credit without any obstacles. Okay, so I will let Dr. Kumpol to introduce you some background about Thai MOOC and JMOOCs. I know that many of you know very well, but in order to prepare for the next step, we want everyone to know some fundamental basics here.
Okay, so thank you very much, Associate Professor Natt Leelawat. So it's been an honor for me to introduce you about the micro-credential transfer system. But before we going dive into the details, so I would like to begin with the most simple and most simplest term in order to understand more about like Thai MOOC and JMOOC. So I know that most of you have known about these two organizations. So let's begin with the first organization, Thai MOOC. So Thai MOOC is like the Thai online platform which has been established since 2015. So the Thai MOOC has been established under the Thai Cyber University Project or TCU, and it has been overseen by MHESI or Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation. So here's like the background for Thai MOOC. Next, we have been known that Thai MOOC has, according to the statistic from last year, September 2024, we have known that there are around like 2 million students have used Thai MOOC's platform in order to study for some courses. And there are around like 2.2 million certificates distributed to these students. And according to the statistic, there are around like 700 courses that has been taught to this Thai MOOC platform. And here's the Thai MOOC statistic, which has been related to subject category. So as you can see from here, we have like multidisciplinary subject area from math and science, computer and IT. And for the social science, we have like social study and politics, food and nutrition, and so on and so forth. So on the other hand, apart from Thai MOOC, we also want to study about the MOOC platform, but this time we're going to study about Japan side. So we have known that JMOOC has been established since 2013, and it is the large first-scale MOOC platform in Japan, which support the online courses. And many universities try to promote JMOOC in order to get into their educational system. And here's like the statistic, preliminary statistic about JMOOC. So as you can see here, based on the statistic from March 2024, we have around like 700 JMOOC certified courses. And there are like 1.5 million learners that has took these JMOOC courses. And here's like the pie charts that show the statistic based on the subject area. And as you can see from these pie charts, so most of the courses are in information engineering and it's also cover multidisciplinary field which is related to Thai MOOC. And for the subject category, we also see some similarity between both JMOOC and Thai MOOC. So it is there's some possibility that we can connect these two MOOCs together to become one. So for the next part, so our researcher are gonna explain you more about how we perform the analysis to study this possibility of the connection between both Thai MOOC and JMOOC.
Okay, thank you very much. Allow me to move on to the stakeholder analysis. So what is stakeholder analysis? To keep it simple, it's what we need to do to analyze who is our stakeholder in this situation. The reason that we need the stakeholder analysis is because, of course, Thai MOOC and the project, the credit transfer, is not something that can be done alone by Thai MOOC and JMOOC. So we would need to have our partners. And how do we do that? We do that through a simple tool, through power interest grid and the onion diagram. Through these tools, we can visualize the perceived relevancy of each stakeholder that we recognize and their involvement to gather and list requirements for the credit transfer system, such as the course descriptors, for example. By communicating with stakeholders, we can acquire the necessary information directly from the source. For example, if we want to know about law and international policies, we would have to communicate with the government agencies. Or if we communicate with the MOOC platform providers, then we can know the list of information that we would need for our credit transfer system to work exactly as we vision. So first of all, the power interest grid. Of course, this is a diagram. So to explain the diagram simply, we have a power axis and the interest axis. And in this diagram, we would map every stakeholder that we have analyzed to be involved with us. So you can see here, the diagram is separated into 4 sections: high interest, high power, such as MOOC platform providers like Thai MOOC and JMOOC, instructors and course creators, or university administrators. Next is high interest but low power. For example, students and Chulalongkorn. Others are high power, low interest, and low interest, low power. For in these purposes, we are focusing on what we would consider to be stakeholders of high interest to us. So, to explain more in details, how do we categorize the criteria for each of our stakeholders? So first of all, we have the key players, stakeholders with high level of interest and influence, or in this case, power. The key players is what we would consider as transformation enablers. Key players have a high relevance for our decision-making process. So like I said, university administrators and registrars, they will manage course equivalency and student records. The instructors and course creators would, of course, create courses for the MOOC platform. And the MOOC platform itself will provide the main system. Second of all, the subjects. These are actors whose influence is currently limited but has high interest in our project. So this would be of high interest but low power at this moment. Subjects would have a supportive role if they are more engaged in the process by key players. So in this case, we would have students who are our primary users who directly benefit from the credit transfer system. And we also have JMOOC as a potential partner as a related MOOC platform. The third section is the context setters. These are stakeholders with high influence but currently little interest at the moment. Context setters are considered as transformation blockers. So who would be in this section? First of all, accreditation bodies. These people will approve courses for credit recognition. Technical teams who will build and maintain the credit transfer system for MOOCs. Related ministries like the Ministry of Higher Education of Thailand and the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sport, Science, and Technology from Japan. And of course, we have the government and policy makers who would be responsible for a cross-border education policies. And finally, we have the crowd, stakeholders who have both low interest and influence. Of course, this doesn't mean that the stakeholders in this category would not move up to maybe a context setter or maybe a key player. But currently, for example, the general public, these would be other audience who may show interest in the platform once the platform grows, but are not currently a current user of the MOOC platform. We also have the employers and industry partners who will recognize credits for professional development and workforce qualifications, and of course, other MOOC platform as well. So these are the criteria for our power interest grid. And to clarify the context further, we can use this power interest grid to make our onion diagram. So these are our onion diagram. Onion diagram is basically what we use to categorize how close our relation would be to each stakeholder. So we can see here the ones that the stakeholders that are highlighted in red are within the inner circles, and they are considered who would be in close relationship with us. The further down the circle, the less related those stakeholders would be, but of course we have to give our attention accordingly. And also we can see from the onion diagram how each stakeholder has relationship with each other. So for example, for instructors and course creators and students within our MOOC platform, instructors would create courses for learning for the students. Or even across the circles like Thai MOOC and JMOOC and the technical teams who provide support for the MOOC platform. So let's move on to the criteria. We have, of course, the core layer, the innermost circle, what we would consider our primary stakeholders. The stakeholders in the core layer will play a crucial role in system development, implementation, and daily operations. These would be our students, university administrators, instructors and course creators, and our focused MOOC platforms. Moving on to the secondary layer, These would be our operational and supporting stakeholders. These stakeholders would provide support like setting guidelines and ensuring system functionality. So that would, for example, accreditation bodies, technical teams, related ministries, and government and policymakers. Lastly, the tertiary layer. These are external and regulatory stakeholders. These groups would have the indirect influence, but they could also become more relevant as the system grows. These are the employers and industry partners who would potentially would be interested in the students who have taken the courses under MOOC platform, and also the other MOOC platform in the tertiary layer as well, and the general public.
Yeah, I think the next one, after we know the stakeholders, we need to know the feasibilities when we want to establish some things, right? So yeah, let's hear about it.
Okay. After we made the stakeholder analysis to know which stakeholder that we should consider, we also conducted the PESTEL analysis in order to examine the external factors that affect our credit transfer system, like in 6 categories, including political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental. The first one, political. We must consider the bilateral education agreement between Thailand and Japan because our project is to collaborating the Thai MOOC and JMOOC from Thailand and Japan. And we must consider the government regulation on the academic credit transfers. And we should ensure the political stability and its long-term impact to the project, because the cross-border higher education cooperation between Thailand and Japan must follow the political stability. Next one is economic factors. Of course, the funding is the most crucial in economic factor because we must receive the fund from the government and university from the Thai side and Japan side for the cost of implementing and the maintaining the platform. And we should consider about economic relations between Thailand and Japan, and also student affordability and tuition fee for the online courses. The next one is social factors. There are demand for international education and student exchanges that have rise in the moment, and also lifelong learning trends. But it also have the language barriers and also cultural difference between Thailand and Japan that have the different culture in the learning style, and also the awareness and trust in digital credit transfer system that some institutions may not consider much about the digital credit. The next one is technological factors. Of course, it's about platform integration between Thai MOOC and JMOOC. They must ensure the cybersecurity measures to protect the student data, and they use digital credentials to transfer the credit, and the user friendliness is also must be considered to make the user use it easily. The next one is environmental factors. Our project is reduce the use of the paper because our project is learning in the online courses in the technology platform, but we should consider about energy consumption of the online platform and data centers, and we must ensure in the natural disaster preparedness in the future. And the last one is legal factors that we should consider. the frameworks of the data protection laws, educational policies in Thailand and Japan, and also the intellectual property rights must be considered to ensure our project and the data must follow the rules from the both countries. And we also currently focus on some of the factor in the PESTEL analysis that have the mark on, including cross-border cooperation, funding lifelong learning trends, language barriers, cultural differences, digital credentials, and also intellectual property rights. And after we currently work on, we have faced about the challenges in the project. There is no established collaboration between Thai MOOC and JMOOC because our project will be the first one to have co-system between those MOOCs. And there are also document processing that has many processes which cause to the slow and inefficiency. And the last one is language barrier hinders in about communication and also in the document that we must addressing it to make our project feasible. Thank you.
Okay, then after this, Dr. Kumpol will tell you more about the possibilities, how we can connect it in terms of internationalization between the two MOOC platforms. Yeah, let's hear from him.
Thank you very much, Associate Professor Natt Leelawat. So I'm gonna, after we have already performed some analysis regarding the stakeholder analysis, together with study about the key external factor based on the PESTEL analysis, and then we define the core challenges, which has made the key challenge for some problem why we can just connect two MOOC together. So here is the key proposed framework that we try to propose the possibility for connecting these two MOOCs platform together. But before we dive into that, so I want to propose some feasibility analysis based on what we have studied so far. So we have summarized into three feasibility points. The first point is about technical feasibility. So according to what we have performed the analysis, we can say that both MOOC has the compatible platform. And you can see that both Thai MOOC and JMOOC have the online courses that try to provide the courses to serve the student and learners. And both MOOC also have the API development or centralized system to transfer the data between, for example, from the MOOC and the university itself. So right now, there is the missing line between both MOOC for Thai MOOC and JMOOC here. And for the second point, which is related to the legal and policy feasibility, since right now, the core tenets for right now is about the privacy. So as you can see here, we also propose that the feasibility here, both MOOCs, for example, Thailand, we also considering about the PDPA, Privacy Data Act, and also for the Japan side, we also have APPI in order to concern more about the student and learner privacy. So here is the feasibility under the legal and policy feasibility. And the last one is the academic feasibility. Since both Thai MOOC and JMOOC try to provide the course content to the learners, so regarding this, both platforms require the course description, learning hours, learning assessment similar to each other. So we can see this kind of feasibility in order to connect these two platforms together. So here's what we want to propose so far. So we have, based on our researchers, so we would like to propose two frameworks. Let's begin with the first one. So as you can see here, from this point, we can see that we have the traditional transfer credit system between Thai side and Japan side. So in this case, we can transfer the credit. But in order to transfer this kind of credit, so we require some course syllabus to check whether both courses from Thai university side and Japan university side has the same content or learning outcome or not. So if both courses has the same learning outcome and similar content, so we can say that okay, it is possible to transfer the credit from Thai side to Japan side or Japan side to Thai side in this case. But in this project, so we would like to study about the red borderline here, as you can see from this slide. So we would like to propose this point, which has been missing initially. So we would like to make it similar to what we have for the traditional basis. So regarding this, we try to use the transfer micro-credential between both Thai MOOC and JMOOC. But apart from using the course syllabus, which is like the document that required by the university basis, but this time we try to use the course descriptors. It's like the course description to match the courses from Thai MOOC and JMOOC together in this case. So we try to make it similar to what the university level have so far. On the other hand, for the second framework that we would like to propose, as you can see from the first framework, we don't have these central credit servers. So for this framework, we try to propose the central credit server. So it's just like the middleman in order to perform as the central person to match both courses from Thai MOOC and JMOOC, whether they have some feasibility to match each other or not. And the process is similar to what have been proposed in the first frameworks, because we want to propose the micro-credential transferring by using the course description, which is called as the descriptor for both side of Thai MOOC and also JMOOC in this case. So what we have learned so far is based on the analysis that we have performed. So here are the two frameworks that can be used in order to create the connection part between both Thai and Japan side based on the online courses, which is Thai MOOC and JMOOC. And next part will be about the preliminary pilot courses that we try to use in order to use as the example for how we can connect these MOOC together. So please welcome Dr. Associate Professor Natt Leelawat.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Kumpol. And yes, as I said at the beginning, now we propose a system. We still don't know what will be the final result because it really depends on a lot of stakeholders, especially both Thai MOOCs and JMOOCs. But anyway, we create the course first in order to be the pilot course to test if this idea is feasible or not. Okay, but one thing I forgot to mention, I did not introduce that which area or which research unit we are from. So welcome to our laboratory first. We are from the Disaster and Risk Management Information Research Unit of Chulalongkorn Universities. In fact, our members, we are focusing on how we can apply technologies into disaster and risk management. We try to figure out a way we can apply AI and machine learning to create the efficient predictive models. We try to develop the model that we can visualize the data, especially for crisis, emergency, and disaster data. We try to propose the concept of area business continuity management using the online cloud platform and so on. So that is our area that we focus on. And we try to find out the partners that can match together with us. We don't want our course to be just a pilot course for these projects, but we also want it to be the real existing course in Thai MOOCs that will allow people to learn, people to gain more knowledge about disaster management as well. But if we go with the traditional disaster management course, it should be very common and we can find in many MOOC courses. So we try to make something with the collaborative projects with other Japanese universities. So we proposed and now in the process of developing these two courses. The first course is design thinking for disaster risk management. We work together with professors Ohashi Takumi from Institute of San Tokyo or San Tokyo, the former Tokyo Institute of Technology. He is an expert in design thinking and transition designs. So we want to see if design thinking cross with disaster management, what it can be. Of course, 1 + 1 is not 2, it's 1 + 1 = 2 plus synergy. We will have some synergy from using design thinking method for the purpose of disaster management. And the second course, we work together with professors from Keio University from Japan, professors Kotake Nohiko and professors Kodaka Akira. Two of them are the experts in system engineering. So we also want to make it, again, system engineering cross disaster management to see how the student, how the learner can apply those methodology to produce something as a solution for disaster management. I will introduce you these two courses starting from the course number 1. Yeah, in this course, we will start by giving the background knowledge for the disaster management to the student. Then we will introduce about the transition design, theory and practice from Professor Ohashi. Then we will show some intersection between the design thinking and disaster management to let them see that is probably the point that they can match together. Then go with the tools and techniques, go with some related issues, and finally the future trend. If we look into detail, what kind of thing that students learn, of course, the basics, disaster risk management, they have to start from learning the type of disasters. Then the risk assessment and vulnerability analysis. These are the principal tools inside disaster management. Then they will learn the idea of ICS and AOC. If you are in the crisis management or disaster management, I know that you will know this term or vocabulary very well. But for the people who are beginning level or the learners who are from different fields, it's really necessary to let them learn about this principle first. Then after that, Professor Ohashi will give the fundamentals idea about transition design. Why we pick transition design? Because we set the goal for the futures and we have to draw the journey part, how we can do step A, B, C, D until we reach our ultimate goals. Then chapter 3, we try to show the intersection part between the two disciplines by applying design thinking to disaster risk management, what kind of challenge students have to feel. And we can create the user-centered solutions for disaster preparedness and response. And finally, we learn about what is the existing innovation we can apply in disaster recovery. For chapter 4, our team will show them the strategic transition design tools and the user-centric design tool that already existing around the world. But we pick some of the significant tools to let them see and share with them what kind of case study that people really use it for the disaster management area. The chapter 5, we will learn about policy, culture, and ethics, which are also very important when you want to design something, especially in terms of disaster and crisis. And the last one, chapter 6, we will teach the student the future trend, how we can apply the emerging technology to disaster like AI, machine learning, the early warning system, and what kind of future humanitarian aid can be in the world. Okay, and the second course, the system design for disaster risk management, also have 6 chapters from the introduction of the disaster risk management, the fundamental idea of the system engineering, the technologies that already exist in disaster risk management, the design for specific disaster, implementation and testing approach, and finally, ethical and legal considerations. If we look into detail, maybe we learn something similar, but in different way of vision. Because previously we focused on design, but now we focus on implement. So starting from learning about natural disaster and man-made disasters, then chapter 2, learn about theory from system engineering from Professor Kotake. Then we learn about the current existing technologies like ICT technologies, the current strategy that we can apply to create the effective disaster risk management systems. Chapter 4, we will start to let the student think about how they can design something for some specific disaster. If they want to develop something for earthquakes, for tsunami, for drought, for flood, for landslide, they can know the way as a guideline how they can start by not just staying on the ground, because we know that we have a lot of platform, we have a lot of giants, right? Can stay on the shoulder of the giant is a lot faster than staying on the ground and climb up to the mountain. Okay, then chapter 5, we will learn about the step of implementing and testing. What kind of thing they have to know before they start the real implementation and testing process. And the last chapter, they will learn about the legal and data considerations, as well as the foreign or international, national, and communication challenge that they have to encounter when they really develop the real solution for disaster risk management. Okay, and the course that I mentioned, yeah, we focus on the micro-credential transfer between Thai MOOC and JMOOC. And we also consider about transferring to the current university systems. So we try to find out the way that we can support all dimensions. And we choose July Engineering lifelong learning courses that is already established. This system established for more than 3 years. We have a lot of students. We already have the graduate who follow the lifelong learning of Chulalongkorn University and graduate and receive our master degree. The one who took the course as a credit banking from this system will earn the Master of Science in Innovative Engineering for Sustainability. And yeah, we already have the first batch, received the degree last year, and we still look forward for more. I would say that this system, this program have two pathways. The first pathway is, yeah, if they want to pursue the master degree, they can collect the credit banking and do the independent studies, then they can work on it. They can choose our two courses in order to be the part of their credit portfolio as well. For another group of people who don't require the degrees but want to reskill and upskills, yeah, we have a lot of courses, and our two courses will also be the part of this program as well. Okay, so I think this probably all what we have done so far until now. The project will not end. We still have to do some things. And those two courses I mentioned to you is going to be launched in April this year, both from the Thai MOOC platform, and we also prepare the July Engineering's lifelong learning to be the physical platform that they can do it. And the way that we are going to do right now is that the students who want to really earn the credit in July system, they have to register and they will have to take the Thai MOOC 2 courses as a part of the requirement. For the persons who just want only study for reskill upskill from Thai MOOC and they don't require any credit transfers or they don't require the degrees, it's fine because we will launch this one as the 2 courses in Thai MOOC, and of course students can learn it through Thai MOOC for free. Okay. I am really thankful for all of you who stay with us for the entire presentation, for the journey that we worked from day zeros in February last year until today. It's already a year, but the project is still going on. We expect that our project will launch everything in April, and the course, we expect that we will have some first graduate of this course in June this year. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very much. Please give them a big round of applause. Wow. What an insightful presentation. If there is any questions from the participants, again, you are allowed to raise your hands and we'll come to you with a microphone. But of course, we have a little bit of extra time, so if you can may catch up with them after they're off the stage, and maybe you can have a further more fruitful conversations, right? Well, I think not only does this advance the development of digital education, I think it's also strengthened the seamless learning experience for both Thai students and Japanese students. Thank you.